So, with Secret of the Mimic out, I think we finally have a clear vision of what the early days of Fazbear Entertainment looked like. I'm not even gonna waste your time with an intro. Just leave a like, comment, subscribe with notifications, join my Discord, and let's jump into the video. The earliest time for Fazbear Entertainment is most likely Fredbear's Singing Show, a restaurant that serves unadulterated food and beverages. Customers can eat while watching the dancing and singing bear, Freddy Fazbear. I actually really like that the only character at this location is Freddy Fazbear because, you know, the company is called Fazbear Entertainment. While the poster being in black and white tells us it is very old, how old is the singing show exactly? Well, Secret of the Mimic, I think, recently answered that for us. In the game, we can find a record for the singing show. Just Krono on Twitter has pointed out that the record looks like ones that were common in the late 1950s to the early 1960s, meaning Fredbear's Singing Show would have most likely opened sometime in the early 60s. Which is crazy because that would mean William Afton and Henry Emily were most likely born in the 1940s. These guys are old. Anyway, Henry wants to open the singing show because he has a passion for entertainment. A big question I think people will have is Freddy an animatronic or a costume? I think it's most likely that the one at the singing show is an animatronic. In the novel trilogy, we see Henry constantly build new characters. Rather they are animatronics for his pizzeria or toys for his daughter, Henry has a clear passion for animatronic technology. The movie even says that Fazbear Entertainment started because the owner had a passion for animatronics.
The genius who created Fazbear Entertainment opened Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria to indulge in his two greatest passions: family-friendly fun and cutting-edge animatronic technology.
I also think during the singing show days, Freddy and Fredbear were not separate characters. The names at the time were likely interchangeable. Fredbear's fur is dark in this poster, which leads me to believe he had brown fur at the time like normal Freddy, and the description of the singing show does call him Freddy. So Henry created his own character, his own restaurant, and I think he's content with that. Henry, I think, most likely didn't have any plans to expand with the singing show idea. He liked what he created and was ready to just settle down. Afton, however, had bigger plans. I want to direct everyone to this quote from The Silver Eyes. Quote, "William Afton was the one who made Freddy's a business, as he had the previous restaurant." End quote. So Afton is said to be the one who cared about making the restaurant a business, and because of that, Afton would be the one who got Fazbear Entertainment started. While Henry obviously is the owner of Fazbear Entertainment as well, because of what is said in The Silver Eyes, I think it's likely William who is the one behind most of the company's decisions. He's the one who built Fazbear Entertainment from the ground up, thinking of ideas on how to expand Freddy's. Somewhere around the late 1960s to early 1970s, William, I believe, gets drawn to the Fall Fest, a carnival that people go to around Halloween every year. In Secret of the Mimic, one of the collectibles is a ticket book for Fall Fest, and it mentions a ride called Farm's Pizza Wagon. Last December, Help Wanted 2 got an update showing us the outside of Murray's Costume Manor. On the building is a picture of a wagon, and above the wagon is Freddy and Bonnie, which would mean Bonnie is the second character Henry had created. I believe this is the pizza wagon. People could take rides during Fall Fest, enjoy pizza, and watch Freddy and Bonnie perform. However, while it was great that Fazbear Entertainment had more options besides just the singing show, William, I believe, wanted to open more restaurants. He convinced Henry to think of another character, and in the 1970s, Fazbear Entertainment opened their second restaurant, Chica's Party World. Secret of the Mimic tells us this by showing that Chica's Party World is a restaurant that was operating during the 1970s. Another way William tries to make Fazbear Entertainment more relevant is by bringing new animatronics to the Fall Fest every year outside of the pizza wagon. So he asks Henry to come up with even more characters, to which I believe Henry thinks of a pirate fox named Foxy, an alligator named Montgomery, a beagle named Bub, a purple hippo named Mr. Hippo, a small frog named Happy Frog. This one has both male and female versions of it, a clown named Jackie, a kid who hands out balloons named Balloon Boy, and a ballerina named Ballora. The reason I think these characters all belong to Henry is because we know both Monty and Bub were planned for the Freddy's restaurant thanks to the R&D room in Secret of the Mimic. But also Mr. Hippo and Happy Frog are seen on a poster with Monty, meaning those characters would be owned by the same people who made Monty, which would make all of those characters Henry's originals. Lastly, I think Jackie is clearly meant to be the first ever version of the puppet. She is a clown-like character who is very skinny, has slim arms, and she sits inside of a music box that plays the My Grandfather's Clock theme. As for BB and Ballora, they don't show up at all in Secret of the Mimic, so there isn't really any reason to think they come from somewhere that isn't a Fazbear restaurant. That's why I am throwing them in the roster of Henry's original characters. There's a lot of characters I did not mention, however. That is because a lot of these characters do show up in Secret of the Mimic and are either advertising something that is not Fazbear related, or they advertise nothing at all. Remember, Steel Wool did confirm the Costume Manor is not a Fazbear location, meaning not every character shown in the game is made for Fazbear Entertainment.
With the characters, and this isn't a Fazbear facility, right? So this is, some of it can be connected and some of it's not, right?
There are characters that are commissioned to Edwin from other mascot locations, and Edwin says that some of these characters he even made himself.
Don't forget, every one of my creations are available for purchase or lease.
I believe any character who I have not mentioned as being Henry's does probably exist, but they are owned by a different restaurant with mascots. For example, the Puppet Carver introduces us to Pizza Playground, a restaurant that is not owned by Fazbear Entertainment. Two of the animatronics at the Pizza Playground include a pig and a bird. I think the pig is most likely to be Pig Patch, meaning Fazbear Entertainment would buy the rights to this character way in the future. As for the bird, Secret of the Mimic does show a bird character in Murray's Costume Manor. I think this is likely the same bird that is from Pizza Playground. Speaking of Edwin, since the roster of Fazbear characters is expanding, William needs to start hiring more people to continue building the animatronics, not just for the Fall Fest they are near, but for other carnivals across the country. So he hires many different people to create costumes of characters, and he hires people to turn those costumes into working animatronics. One of those people is Edwin Murray, whose company is currently failing after negative reviews for his vacuum named Hug. Afton buys Murray Co. and forces Edwin to turn the costumes of the characters into animatronics. Throughout the 70s, Fazbear Entertainment gets even more popular thanks to the singing show, Chica's Party World, Fall Fest, and the other carnivals these characters are brought to. Edwin, after some tragic events, works at Murray's Costume Manor, a place owned by his father, but after Edwin's dad dies, Edwin is running the company. One of Edwin's creations is an AI that generates different puppet shows. Edwin thinks of it as a smart way to save costs.
Are you thinking of getting into the children's television entertainment space? Are the costs of writers, crew, and puppeteers holding you back? Then, boy, have we got some news for you. Welcome to the MCM Television Studio of the Future. Here, there's no need for a cast or crew. Our patented Stage Manager software keeps your show on track and condensed to fit your broadcast time slot, including commercial breaks. If writers have you blocked, use an MCM story template. Simply supply the stage manager with the desired character names, location, and genre. It writes itself. What about the talent? Well, we removed the talent. No difficult puppeteers, demanding actors, or moody directors needed. Our system is drama-free. And of course, you'll save a fortune on production costs. The MCM studio comes equipped with automated cameras, props, and lights.
Fazbear Entertainment uses this for a puppet show about Foxy that airs on TV. While things are going pretty great, William has the idea for what could become his biggest location yet, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. He talks with Henry about it, and they agree that for Freddy's, they want Fazbear Entertainment's most popular characters, Freddy Fazbear and Bonnie, the characters from The Singing Show and Pizza Wagon, Chica, the other character with her own location, Foxy, the character with a popular TV show. Henry even comes up with the idea of Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, yellow versions of Freddy and Bonnie, the first two characters to be created, and characters that would represent the two owners, Henry as Fredbear and William as Spring Bonnie. Monty and Bub even get added to the roster. As we see in Secret of the Mimic, William gets Edwin to design Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and create the animatronics. It also seems that Fiona chimes in on how to design each of the characters with the idea of making them Springlock suits. Springlocks become popular in Fazbear Entertainment, and more characters are designed as Springlocks. I believe this becomes the norm for a while until Henry and William agree that when they open Freddy's, they want the main four characters to be normal animatronics instead of Springlocks.
I got the change order from Hen last night. None of this makes sense. I'm almost done. Why change it now? It would be so much easier to keep using the Springlocks. Just hire some teens to wear the suits like we always do.
Henry also changes up the designs Fiona had in mind for the main four, which annoys Edwin.
Aren't they insane? The look of these new animatronics is Fiona's design, and they're great. Oh, first they approve the art, then they approve the proofs. Now they change their minds when we're so close to final. Why would they change them now? Are they pulling my leg? The new concepts are frankly creepy. No, it doesn't matter. I'm not changing a single bit of her work, and they can't make me.
Nonetheless, Edwin has no choice but to restart Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy with the new designs in mind. Notice how in the concept pizzeria, the main four animatronics are incomplete. Meanwhile, the ones being used as Springlocks are completely finished. Since it's only the main four that Henry changed the designs of and wanted to use as animatronics, that would be why they are incomplete. While Fredbear, Spring Bonnie, Monty, and Bub did not get a change order, so they remain to be Fiona's designs and Springlock suits. Edwin is still angry, however, that Henry didn't want to use Fiona's designs for the main four. Edwin's reaction irritates William, so I believe he pulls something to get back at Edwin.
I have to go help the Fall Fest crew, just for a few days until the installation is finished.
Oh, why did you go? You weren't even supposed to be there. You were supposed to be here with me and David. Oh, how am I supposed to tell David that his mother is gone? How am I supposed to raise a kid on my own? His life is ruined.
That's right, I think William Afton burned down Fall Fest with the intention of killing Fiona, just so he could get into Edwin's head. Anyway, in 1979, Fredbear's Family Diner opens. William and Henry's idea for the improved version of The Singing Show. However, since Fiona is dead, Henry is the one who creates the Springlock suits. Henry's Springlocks, unfortunately, are not as safe as Fiona's, so accidents occur way more. Edwin happens to go missing the same year, so Afton sends several employees to retrieve all Fazbear property from the Costume Manor. All of them die. Eventually, Afton takes Edwin's old place for himself, and he finds out about the Mimic, an endoskeleton built by Edwin that is designed to fit in any costume and become any character. The Mimic is very violent, so Afton locks it away. I will be making a separate video that goes way more into this. Anyway, for now, Freddy's is being planned to open sometime in 1983. And in the meantime, Fredbear's Family Diner and Chica's Party World are the only locations still open. Henry creates a new version of Jackie to use as a security system to protect his kids when they are at Fredbear's. William, however, despises Henry. He had the whole time. William Afton thought it was unfair. William was the one who made Fazbear Entertainment what it is. Sure, Henry created the characters, but besides that, Afton did pretty much everything else. William built the company from the ground up, yet everyone is giving Henry the credit, causing William to have wild jealousy towards Henry. As we learn in The Silver Eyes, William would write in his journal about how much he hates Henry. So one night, to get into Henry's head and hurt his friend, William murders Henry's daughter Charlotte outside of Fredbear's. This causes Charlotte to possess the puppet, which brings William into his journey with the supernatural, but that's not important to this video. What is important is that months later, William's son Garrett dies due to an event known as the Bite of 83. Since both of the owner's kids have now died at Fredbear's, the restaurant closes. But it's fine because Freddy's is pretty much ready at that point and it opens. Monty and Bub are taken out of the Freddy's roster because they aren't as popular as the other chosen characters. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza opens with Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie, and Chica on the main stage, Foxy on his own stage, Fredbear and Spring Bonnie used as Springlock suits, and the puppet in her box. That is what I believe to be all the restaurants, events, and history of Fazbear Entertainment leading up to the opening of Freddy's. I actually love that Secret of the Mimic gives us enough info to piece the early timeline together. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next week. Bye everyone.